Hi friends, good morning. Welcome back to my Chanel. Today we have a work with me style vlog, a little bit different. We're switching it up a little bit and we're gonna jump right into it. Let me walk you through how I kick off basically every day. First thing, I catch up on everything that came in overnight. I respond to your YouTube comments, get back to any emails, and answer all the questions that might have come in on my listings overnight. Oh, and speaking of emails, I have to give you a quick heads up. I saw a new Poshmark email scam going around and I wanted to share it with you, so I'll pop it on the screen. This one really, before I opened the email and just previewed it on my phone, really did strike me as a Poshmark email. But if you really look at it, the characters in the word Poshmark aren't actual like standard typing characters. They're like weird, I don't know how to explain them, but they're not the right characters for the whole word. I believe M in particular, if you really look at it. So please always double check exactly where your emails are coming from. And if anything looks a little bit off, do not respond and never click on any links or attachments. After that, I go through my Poshmark inactive listings and get them all activated again. And then the very last thing that I do as part of my morning in this little segment block is print out all of my shipping labels that came in overnight. I do have a Rolo for my shipping labels and I would absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend it. It has worked for me wonderfully for years now. Prior to that, I did have a Dymo, so either thermal printer I would definitely recommend. After I print out each label, I flip it over and write the name of the item and the bin it's stored in right on the back. If you're new here, you'll see that's what I use to pull everything from my bins once we go downstairs. Oh, and the last time I filmed myself writing on these labels, I was so shocked at how many questions I received in the comments about the marker or the pen that I was using. So we'll just put it on record that it is a Tombow ABT marker. The particular one I'm using is, I think, just the color red. So there we go. And as a lefty who smears everything when she writes, 10 out of 10 recommend these markers. So funny that I'm laughing in the voiceover and on screen. I was watching a Jack and Ryan video. I like to watch Jack and Ryan or my other YouTuber resellers in the morning in particular, especially when I'm getting my work day going. I love watching work adjacent content. Kind of makes me feel like I have virtual coworkers, so to speak. And after getting all of my labels written down, before we head downstairs, I am going to go ahead and draft a few listings just while I'm sitting here. I have a few photos stored in my photo bank, which I then upload from my phone to, Google Photos, and then I drag them on my desktop and I use my desktop to list. And I will stand 10 toes down on that. Listing on the desktop is 100% the fastest way I have ever found to list, whether it be using NIFTY like I do now or before how I would list on Poshmark. The desktop is the way to go. Okay, speaking of way to go, we're going downstairs. We got to collect all of our things and make our way to the basement. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the B-roll clips like this. You know, the walking, the not really doing anything, just the getting from one place to another clips. I personally like them. They're very fun to film. However, they are kind of silly to film because you have to like retrace your steps 3 or 4 times and set the camera up and you kind of look like silly from the outside. Anyway, I enjoy them. And it kind of like helps you see the story of like, we're going downstairs. I don't know. Anyway, now we're going to haphazardly start cleaning and simultaneously pulling things from the bins. And while we're down here, I have to tell you about my last Plato's Closet run. So I think in my last haul video, I alluded to the fact that I had so much stuff for Plato's and maybe we would do a work with me, pack the Plato's bag and we'll go together type of video. Well, we did that. You just didn't see it because I ended up deleting it. We packed the bag together, did a whole work with me around going to Plato's Closet and selling to and sourcing with them. And do you know, we arrived, I think like 3rd or 4th in line. Nobody was like waiting to check in. It wasn't like they were slammed busy. They told me the wait was about 15 minutes and it was slightly longer than that. I would say it was about 22 minutes. Do you know they purchased four of the 45 items we packed for them? 4, you guys. So needless to say, I scrapped that video. I will say though, for the 4 items, I received $25. So that's not terrible. That's not terrible, but I was absolutely expecting them to purchase way more. I did though, however, manage to sell the majority of the remaining 40-ish items to another buy-sell trade store for $144. And the rest we're going to be sending off to THREDUP today. And it looks like I'm about to start organizing my labels. But first, if you are an eBay, premium store holder, do not forget to use your quarterly coupon. I lost mine in the beginning of the year because I just simply forgot about it and remembered the day after it expired. So don't be like me and buy your free tape with your $50 coupon. And I need to make a small confession. Here I am sorting all of the labels. The blue labels I had printed and written out yesterday, and the red ones we just wrote out this morning. My silly behind forgot that my wonderful husband already came downstairs and pulled all of the blue label sales the day before. So you're going to see me in a minute here looking a bin that he's already pulled the sale from, and then it clicks in my brain and I remember, but I don't know. I don't know if that's ADHD. I don't know if that's just one-track mind. Maybe it's not one-track mind. I don't think I have a one-track mind. No, I don't. I have like 1,000-track mind. And I try to go down all the tracks at the same time. And it's really frustrating. Anyway, so here I am. We're going to start pulling the sales. I have just organized them on the table so that the A's are with the A's, the B's are with the B's, the C's are with the C's. So I don't have to go back to that particular letter group again. And I could just pull them all like kind of in that order. The first sale we went to pull was a winner, and it was something that sold overnight last night that we just printed the label for. So we were able to find it in the bin, but I do think it's this next one that I'm going to be confused as to why it's not in my bin. But that does happen from time to time. Honestly, I was just talking to Jack yesterday about investing in some heavy-duty shelves to hold all of my inventory because it would make pulling sales so much easier. They're just so expensive, and my cheap little heart would honestly rather thrift them. But I know they would help this process so much, and they would help my knees, which have absolutely been killing me lately. So if you see at the bottom of my legs, I do have knee braces on. That's not like a weird double layer to these cool little linen capri shorts, pants, whatever you want to call them, which I absolutely love. This whole outfit that I'm wearing, I did find at the bins in my giant bins haul that I'll tell you a little bit more about at the end of the video. And it looks like I've just realized that Jack pulled all of the blue label sales from the day before, so I just cleared them all off the table, and we're only focusing now on the ones that we just printed and wrote out, and we're going to pull those, and then we're going to get them packed up together. Oy, it's honestly like hurting me watching back this footage because looking at how I have to pull all these sales, shelves would make this process probably like the time alone probably would be like cut in half of me pulling the sales out of the bins, just because I wouldn't have to touch every single bin to get to the bottom bin. I would only have to touch the bin I actually needed. And like I said, it would be so much less on myself to pull inventory. Man, if you have like industrial shelving for your inventory as a reseller, please drop the brand name or whatever they are below so I can take a look at them, because perhaps I should invest in some shelving for my business that's been around for almost a decade. All right, so we finally pulled all of the sales that sold overnight. We are about to start packing them up, and you will see I do reuse packaging, especially for Poshmark sales. I am not afraid to reuse, let's say, Amazon packaging, Amazon boxes. I will go ahead and peel off any of the Amazon labels or cross out, any of their little stickers or barcodes or anything like that. And I also do pop on the box or mailer that I'm reusing a little sticker that says, this packaging was sustainably reused, something like that. You know, I'll pop it on the screen, my little label that I use for reusing packages. It just basically says, thanks for not minding that this isn't a brand new package and it has been reused sustainably, something to that effect. Anyway, while I have my hands busy boxing all of these up, can we please talk about Depop for a second? Because I have some feelings. I genuinely have been having some of my best consistent sales on Depop lately. And then they send me this stats email that makes it look like I'm totally failing, like below average in basically every single metric. It's so discouraging, honestly, and I really don't get it. I don't think I've ever received one of these Depop emails where I was above average in any of these metrics, which is so crazy to me. Like, who out there on Depop is consistently killing it? Like, I don't know. Especially because I feel like I'm doing so well on Depop right now. Just very, I don't know. I just feel like that's a marketing, I don't know, maybe not marketing, but a flop on Depop's end, because I feel like some people might see that and get discouraged and be like, okay, I'm done with Depop. If I'm not doing well in there, why would I keep trying? But like I said, I've been having my best consistent sales on Depop for the last at least 3 weeks consistently. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a helpful thing, or do you think it's like a flop on Depop's end? Speaking of, how are your sales going on all of your platforms? I would say, like I've been saying for the past few weeks now, eBay continues to be very, very slow. And I feel like now I'm just kind of chalking that up to summer slowdown. I feel like I have been very lucky on my other platforms and haven't seen a super dramatic slowdown for summer as I usually do, like on Poshmark or Depop, but eBay has been steadily very slow the last few weeks. So I would love to know how your sales are doing. And speaking of summer, do any of you have any fun summer plans? Have you done anything fun this summer yet? I am happy to say that here in Colorado, the smoke, at least in my area, and like the bad air quality that we've been dealing with the last few weeks because of all these wildfires, seems to have subsided a little bit. So I'm not like scared to go outside anymore like I was like a week and a half ago when the air quality was like the worst in the country, I think. But Jack and I did make plans this weekend to go to Denver and check out the art museum. There is a fashion exhibit going on right now, and I'm very excited to see that. And you know, I will bring my Meta glasses if I'm allowed, and I will definitely record some clips and show you guys in a future video if we do end up making it there this next weekend. I also am planning a trip to visit my family and would love some suggestions as to where I can buy travel minis in the comments below. Like, where's the best place to buy them? I looked on Amazon and it just seems like they're all kind of expensive on Amazon. So I was going to check, maybe I was thinking like Ulta or Sephora or Target, but I'm not exactly sure. So if you are a seasoned traveler, let me know where you buy your travel minis in the comments below. And finally, we are done packing up the sales. I'm just going to take them around the corner. And then before we make our way to the post office, I am going to inventory some of the listings that I posted yesterday. So some of my most newly listed items need to be put into the inventory bins. And this is where Nifty comes in. And honestly, Nifty is the reason I don't lose track of anything. It's how I keep every single listing organized across all of my platforms in one place. It's as simple as looking up the listing in my Nifty inventory, finding a bin, any bin with space, and recording that bin number, if you will, in the very bottom of the description. That way, Nifty pushes that bin inventory information out to all of my platforms. So no matter when or where it sells, I know exactly where to find it. in theory, because it doesn't always work. There's definitely things that maybe glitches and doesn't get put into the inventory bin, or I put the wrong bin in, or it falls off the face of the earth because it's sold on eBay and then they canceled. All kinds of things could happen. So in theory, I should be able to find all of my items by using my NIFTY inventory, in theory. And just in case you are new here and have never heard of NIFTY or are interested in trying NIFTY for the first time, there is a 15% off discount code in the description of this video for 15% off your first month of NIFTY. And clearly, I highly recommend it. It has single-handedly helped change my business for the better. And I am a person who recognizes that I struggle to do the same task for long periods of time. So typically I like to limit the same task that I'm doing to about an hour. And I would say it takes me about 45 minutes to inventory a full Hulkin's worth of listed items. So that's what I'm doing right now, just getting that task out of the way for the day. So we've just finished inventorying and I'm just resetting all of my bins, putting them back in alphabetical order and in the rows they belong in, roughly alphabetical order, we'll say. Now we are going to pull a few things from my rolling rack. This rolling rack is actually all of the things that are newly thrifted, steamed, and need to be listed. I've been steaming things in the basement as of late because it's so hot when I steam them upstairs in my office. It like traps the heat in my office. So I've been doing that in the basement. And my camera's about to take a dive. I really thought I broke it. I was shocked that absolutely nothing, clearly shocked that absolutely nothing was wrong with it. So shout out Insta360. All right, now we're finally ready to leave the house. I am going to pack up the car with the 2 THREDUP boxes that I've already pre-packaged. I'm sorry I didn't show you this on camera, but these were already pre-packaged. I just needed to print the labels and take them to UPS, and I've been putting that off. So I figured filming myself doing it would give me a little more gumption to make it all the way over to UPS and actually drop them off, because the one box has been sitting in my basement for at least a week. First, we're going to head to the post office though and drop off our pink Hulkin full of sales, giving you a nice little view of the beautiful mountain. You can see though still, it's kind of hazy out. You can't see the mountain too clearly. It is a little hazy out, but last week, I'm telling you, you couldn't even see the mountain, how hazy it was outside. Absolutely wild. And we're arriving to the post office. It's looking pretty busy as per usual. Grab my Hulkin out of the car. It's so funny. On the way back to the car, a woman came up to me and she goes, "I have to ask, where is your bag from?" And I said, "Oh, it's from this website." And I pointed to it, like I turned the bag around and pointed to the Hulkin, name on there. And I kind of like ushered it to her. And I was like, you can take a look at it if you want. She's like, "Yeah, I have so many sales that I bring here all the time." And I said, "Yep, that's exactly what I just did. I dumped a whole bag of sales out, and this moves so easily. It moves just like a suitcase." Like, it's so funny. Whenever anybody asks me about my Hulkin, I like instantly become a salesman for the Hulkin for some reason. But I guess that reason is it's just because I love the Hulkin so much. I genuinely find it worth every single penny, even though it is very expensive for what it is. I do think it's worth it. And yes, I just dropped my sales in the drop box on the wall. I did not get them scanned in or scan them in at the scanner. Do I recommend that? No, I don't, but I've never had an issue. So we're banking on not having an issue today. And we've arrived at UPS. We're going to drop off our THREDUP boxes. Woo! They don't have to sit in the basement anymore, and we can start making some money back on these bad buys or Plato's rejects. And now we're magically back home. I wish I could transfer myself that quickly from UPS back to the house, but we're magically back home and we are going to get some listings photographed. Having fresh listings go up every single day is genuinely what keeps my sales consistent. And if you're new here, I'll give you a little strategy tip. I space out my listings at least 1 hour apart. I'll usually draft them all at the same time, which we did this morning, and then I schedule them out to go live throughout the day about an hour apart. It helps keep me showing up in the feed instead of dumping everything all at once. And what I'm photographing right now are the listings that I'm going to draft tomorrow morning. I don't have it in me to sit there and draft them today, so I don't have to think about it tomorrow. I wish I did, but this is kind of like where I'm at right now. I work a tiny bit ahead, so tomorrow morning I can just sit down and go ahead and draft all my listings almost first thing in the morning. That's kind of how I'm working with it right now. And I always photograph everything the exact same way. Front, back, tag, fabric tag, any flaws, any special details, my measurement board, and then the item again, just to lock it all in on my camera roll. And yes, I do everything on my phone. You don't need a special camera. You don't need anything really fancy. I run my entire business from my cell phone predominantly. And the things you're actually watching me photograph and prep for listing tomorrow are things that I found on the great thrift haul I mentioned earlier. It was about a week ago now in real time. I went to the bins and I spent 155 doll hairs on 69 pounds of clothing at the Goodwill outlet, which maybe it doesn't sound like a super ton because sometimes I've come on here and been like, oh, I spent $300 at the thrift store. But for the bins, that is a ton of stuff, especially for my bins. I usually leave my bins with about a hulkin full. And this past time that I went to the bins, I had to take a cart out because my cart was so full. And here I'm going to give you a little teaser of some of the things you're going to see in my next bins haul. This rolling rack, I'm currently working on getting listed and prepped before the haul, which I plan to film today in real time. But this is what you're going to see. Some of these things are brands I've never found. Some of them are really cool vintage. It was just a really great bins trip. And honestly, I left the bins that day because I couldn't physically take it anymore. Like, my arms were hurting, my knees were hurting, my back was hurting. I was there for almost 3.5 hours, which is an hour and a half longer than I usually stay, but I had so much stuff. I mean, clearly almost 70 pounds is a ton to find in 3 hours. Anyway, I guess I'll let you go now, friends. If you took the time to watch this video and you spent your social media currency with me today, I so appreciate you. And if you wouldn't mind just hitting like on your way out, that would be awesome. I'll see you next time for that giant bins haul. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. And I'll see you there. Bye, friends.